Thanks for staying with us. You're watching Political Standpoint. Now, we still have the chairman, Inter-Party Advisory Council, Alhaji Yabagi Asani with us. We also have a political affairs commentator, Otumba Olabode Oseni, who joins us also virtually. But we have now in the studio a lawyer and president, Yoruba Council Worldwide, Oladotun Hassan. He's with us. He's going to speak mostly from the legal perspective. But before we get his thought on all of this issue, whether to zone or not to zone and the zoning arrangement, I will now have that video of the vice president-elect speaking to a group of lawmakers.
So,
a thank you visit to the president-elect for the support to emerge the party's choice. Speaker-designate Tajuddin Abbas and the anointed deputy Benjamin Kalu, with a crowd of members-elect, speak of the efforts being made to win aggrieved aspirants to their side.
we believe synergy, working in a mutually beneficial manner will be easy for us because the language you speak is the language you speak as well. So I want to assure you that we will work harmoniously together. We will cooperate in the best way possible to ensure that Nigeria wins all the time.
Granted that before now, no Southeasterner was in the presiding officer's position in the last 4 years. But this time, irrespective of the number of votes that came from Southeast, the party considered cohesion and gave us this. We are grateful.
Their host appreciates the visit. He calls on his guests to continue their engagements with colleagues with a view to win them for unified parliament.
My own duty, my own assignment is to reach out to all tendencies so that we shall have a Ranko pre-tense assembly. As I said earlier, I've started the engagements. I will sustain that engagement. And locally, I will a little bit of influence and respect in the Federal House of Representatives.
Tajuddin Abbas and Benjamin Kalu were announced on Monday when APC unveiled its zoning formula for the presiding offices of the 10th National Assembly. The announcement was met with some measure of opposition from some aspirants, but both men said they would not leave any stone unturned in their drive to win any aggrieved member-elect to their side. TVC News, Abuja.
There you have it. The vice president-elect speaking there about inclusiveness. But I want to bring in the lawyer now, Oladotun Hassan. I know that the Constitution does not state how offices should be allocated, but in this kind of situation, what does the existing law say?
Well, basically, we have to look at the intricacies and the deliberate interest of each political party. In the political party constitutions, there are provisions that provide for zoning formula, and the zoning formula needs to be adhered to strictly by members of such political parties, and that is, I think, that's what APC is trying to exercise here. It's part of their constitution. It's part of their internal process of how they choose their own arrangement from executive to the legislative arm. But in view of that, at the same time, I want to implore the party not to be extremely blind to the interest of the generality, interest of all members of the political party, because what makes up a party are the members. And at the same time, the leadership also have an advisory role. But where there are conflicts, especially for a new government that is coming in, battling with this kind of situation will firstly give an implosive approach to by the June 5 declaration of the National Assembly, because some of the members have approached the national chairman of the party, especially the aggrieved party. So in as much as the political party have nominated, I would still call them nominee. They should not be addressed as designate. They should be still a nominee, because being designate means that the election has been confirmed by the National Assembly. So there should be a correction from the media point of view, so that the generality of Nigerians will not presumably see the fact that because tomorrow politics is dynamic. You can see anything can happen. A PDP member can usurp the situation and emerge even a non-popular candidate can as well emerge if this crisis goes the way it's going. So that's our own interest, the fact that in as much as the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria only recognizes political parties to run for offices, and the internal management of the House is regulated by the standing order of the House. And the standing order only protect returning members to have that preferential role to run for functionaries of the House. So in view of the fact that the standing order is still standing as at date, except if it is reviewed, that it's open to all members. But as at date, the current standing order, according to the Ninth Assembly, it recognizes only returning members of the House, second or third time members of the House, not first timer. So
let me ask, because you made a point earlier that I don't want to lose, which is the fact that you talked about the party playing advisory role. In situations like this where you're talking about the assembly leadership,
yes,
what position should the party take? Should it be the nomination role, or should it be more of the advisory role?
Well, it should be, when a father gives birth to all children, he shouldn't discriminate the children. There's a need for the party to play the fatherly role now, in view of the fact that, yes, we are all aware when there was the resolution of the party to zone the presidential slot to the southern zone. It is the same political party leadership, the chairman of the party, that declared Ahmed Lawan and the interest of the party as an anointed candidate. But it behoves on the northern governors. We saw how they were very fearsome with the leadership of the party, that this should not be. Let them go to the field. And everyone went to the field, including both northern candidates and the southern candidate. It was when they got to the primaries, they started stepping down. So it can still be that when everybody is given that fair role to go, we have seen competent leaders from the south, we've seen competent senators from the north, we've seen competent leaders from the southeast. So they should not be relegated. We know that it's a trying time for our democracy, but we shouldn't be too blindfolded not to see reasons on agitations. When there are conflicts, the very first intent is for us to first quell the burning flame. And the burning flame is the fact that there are other issues. If the issues are to be left open, let the party have a second thought of ADR, of ensuring that let there be a subtle measure. If this is their interest, then let them mobilize for their own candidate. If the party presumably, so this is our interest, then call the loyalists of the party, oh, this is how we can go about it. But if not, let it be open. If it is thrown open, that promotes democracy. Then another angle to it, in as much as we all admire the fact that the president-elect is there already, we played all our role, even as an organization. We did our best also to ensure that we have a free, fair, and credible election, and we appreciate that fact. We know how the president-elect got to where he is today, and Nigerians are looking up to him as a salvaging moment, whereby we want to feel dividend and pause of a president and to have what democracy should interpret in terms of ethos of democracy, credibility of checks and balancing. There should not be a fist cuff between both arms. It is not nobody's looking for a rubber stamp here. But Nigerians are easily...
Not an aggressive relationship.
Yes.
I just want to put you on hold because I want to bring the chairman of IPAC. Alhaji Sani, I'm sure you've been listening to Oladotun Hassan, who has been speaking to whether the party should play a nomination role and an advisory role, and that it should not be blind to some of these agitations by other lawmakers from other zones. I just wanted to react to all that he has said. Alhaji Sani, the question was for you. All right, Alhaji Sani, you have to unmute yourself. We can. I know you're speaking, but we can't hear you. All right. So whilst he's trying to fix that, let me give the question to Ms. Alabode Oseni. Alabode Oseni, can you react to all that Oladotu Hassan has been saying in terms of party representation?
Yes, I want to agree with him to a great extent, but I want to insist that the business of governance, it may be because I'm in a different climate to what we have in Nigeria or other African countries. What should not be compromised in order to get a good result is the issue of meritocracy and competency. These are very, very important. And like I said again, we cannot say because we need to please. I like when he alluded to his children. I mean, having many children and you want to make everybody happy. At the end of the day, it's not like when you're also in the school, not everybody is going to get first class. Those who are going to get first class are those people who work harder. They are going to pass better than others who did not work. So again, I want to insist the issue of competency is very, very important, and we cannot afford to compromise that. It has ruined the business of governance many years back, and we cannot continue with that. And that's why I'm praying and hoping and seeking that hopefully the new president will do more to change all these narratives. It's not helping us because we cannot just say we want to put somebody there because he's entitled for people who can deliver. And knowing him, I think he'll be working. He'll be looking forward to apply the principle of party supremacy and say, well, look, if the party has fought for you, if the party have gotten you to win your election, you should be able to comply and apply the spirit of working together for the party to enhance good governance. And that's for me is key, not talking about somebody has to get what. So far, the lawyer has not been able to convince me that all this instruction of when you are a member, I mean, you have to take advantage of zoning and so on and so on.
All right.
And that's why I said, for me, it's an arrangement that is not, properly highlighted. Or,
all right, so let's get Alhaji Sani's thought now, because I also understand we have him now. In terms of, this zoning arrangement, some have also said, and I'm speaking to Alhaji Sani, some have said, look, it's a reason perhaps why some assemblies have been referred to as the rubber stamp assembly, and some others have not. And I want you to react to that.
There are more fundamental issues here beyond issue of competence and legality of what they are doing. Like I said, we are on a journey. We started by ensuring that a particular zone produced the president we have today. And after achieving that, we now took the president and vice president. So the political aspect, the issue of harmony in the polity is key. You may have the most competent people in the world. If the polity is not there's no harmony in polity, and you don't have people working together, then you have a problem even implementing with the best brains, your programs, especially the National Assembly, supposed to be a National Assembly that is national, by nature, that represents effectively the interests of the various zones. We are, as a matter of reality, collection of nations, if you like to call us so. That's why we have 6 geopolitical zones in terms of political convenience, so that we can have harmony in the polity. It's key, not a matter of competence here now. Competence can come to play when Mr. President is electing his ministers, his other appointees. He can now say, I'm going to go only by competence. But here is politics at its best, and it must be addressed politically, not saying competence. No, we must, like where the party is trying to achieve that balancing by zoning the president of the Senate to the South for that matter. We are now saying that, as we had during President Obasanjo's administration, where we had a similar arrangement. Our Atiku Abubakar was from the northeast, President Obasanjo was from the southwest. We had the Senate President then from the southeast, for that matter. And then we had the Speaker from the northwest. And we had Deputy Senate President was then from the north central. So we're saying, look at that template, see what you can do so that we can achieve stability in polity. The president will be able to function better if you have a National Assembly that is national, that reflects Nigerians' interests, not competence. You don't look for competence in this matter. You look for political solutions, and that's what we're asking for. And that's why IPAC is supporting.
A lot of them has competence versus, it looks like that there are two debates on the table at the moment. One of them is competence versus political solution and balance, that keeps everybody, keeps the society less agitative, where people are not agitating because of that balance. But there's also the issue of leadership by agreement and influence of the party. In all of this debate, what do you think really works?
Well, just as I will take the word.
And sorry to interrupt, and that's bearing in mind that, look, at the end of the day, it has to be not just what works for the National Assembly and the executive, but what works for the people and create that sense of balance.
Well, that is where my point really comes to. Because if all these whole agitations is just for some of our political leaders alone, without considering the political implication of the heated issues, because the issues is now being for politics and competence at all hand. Every of the persons that have been selected are competent. Yes, I've seen the roll call of all the Senate presidential aspirants, including that of the APC chosen person in person of Akpabio. They all have great credentials that merit the position. But what we are talking about here now is all about how much the party can will them to lobby to make sure that they see reason. It's not about imposing. If the party goes by way of imposing, although we are the political party and what we say, these are independent minds. The fact that...
So there has to be like widespread consultation.
Yeah, there must be, because if care is not taken, the already laid down wolves that are of the opposition party will take advantage. And those that are aggrieved will only merge with those that are there. And it has happened before. So we should not be too blinded to the real issue. Yes, I've seen the roll call. But sometimes when people made argument, like the issue of the Senate presidency is not as heated as what we have in the House of Reps. There are two fundamental issues.
And let's also bear in mind that, look, the House of Reps, the opposition bloc, has more lawmakers than the APC. Do you think that the APC might be for a surprise?
Definitely. That's where I want the party to be careful, in as much as they've seen the entire thing. Yes, we've seen the current Deputy Speaker of the House declaring his intention yesterday, meaning that it's very readily available. So the party should apply more concerted effort in addressing especially both arms now. But in view of the real issues, if the party mistakenly fold its arms and hold to its grip that, it must be what we are shunning out, I will tell you it will come back to be catastrophic to the president-elect, because that will be the beginning of a fist cuff. And the system where we are all going into, we are going into an hyperinflation system, a system whereby poverty is on the highest scale. These are issues we want to be faced with in the first 100 days, not issues of if we cannot resolve this now.
Rancor within
yes, if we cannot easily resolve this, it will be difficult to even select ministers.
Absolutely. But let me quickly get, like, in 30 seconds each from Olabode Oseni, your final word on how you think that both the APC and the 10th Assembly should proceed with this in just 30 seconds.
Thank you very much. I think so far so good. The people want results, not zoning. At the end of the day, they want what the president can deliver. If President is able to deliver within a short period of time, when the populace are very happy with his governance, issue of who behind this and that becomes secondary. Let us be realistic here. Nothing works in isolation, and we cannot just have this issue of zoning to ruin the idea of someone who has a vision, who want to change the narratives, and that is very key. Again, the result is the key here. Not the.
I said 30 seconds. Your 30 seconds is up. Thank you, Olabode Oseni. But let me quickly bring in Alhaji Sani again in 30 seconds. At the House of Reps, that's what the challenge is. More opposition lawmakers than that of the APC. Is there concern that the APC might be upstaged or that list might be usurped by opposition lawmakers? And how should the APC tread on that matter?
Well, I think what is of concern to us is how democracy prevails and work for the people of this country. And anything we do without putting into consideration those silent dichotomies, that is religion, region, and ethnicity, it has become something that is ingrained, whether we like it or not, in our polity. Whatever comes up, I'm sure, the people of those members in the House of Rep, it's politics. Believe you me. End of the day, what will emerge will be something that I'm sure Nigerians will be happy with, because this is not the first time we're doing this. Right. And with the people we have at the Helms of Affairs, having the national chairman of the party in the person of Senator Abdullahi Adamu, who has seen it all, having our president-elect who has seen it all too, I don't think they will get it wrong at all.
All right, we'll see how things play out. I'm sure this is not the last of this conversation we will all have in the coming days. Whilst the presidency or the president-elect will be inaugurated on May the 29th, the 10th Assembly is not until June, so there's enough time for this conversation. Thank you, gentlemen. Alhaji Yabagi Sani, Chairman, Action Democratic Party, and Chairman, Inter-Party Advisory Council. Also, political affairs commentator, Otumba Olabode Oseni, who joined us virtually from the UK as well. Thank you for talking to us. And the lawyer in the studio, Oladotun Hassan, President, Yoruba Council Worldwide. Thank you for talking to us.
It's a pleasure to be here.